Welcome to Fantastic Vision. Please subscribe us before you watch today's video. According to the well-known media Reuters, the U.S. Department of Commerce responded to a question from a Republican congressman in writing on July 2. The document clearly states that from 2024 to the present, the U.S. Department of Commerce has cancelled a total of 8 export licenses related to Huawei. According to the news in May, the United States cancelled some of Huawei's shipment licenses at that time, including well-known American chip companies such as Intel and Qualcomm. The 4G mobile phone SoC chips and consumer-grade PC computer chips that these two manufacturers were originally allowed to ship to Huawei are now restricted from shipment. This news has been confirmed by Qualcomm and Intel, which will also have a significant impact on Huawei. Judging from the clear statements of Qualcomm and Intel that they will strictly abide by all applicable export control regulations, it is estimated that it will be difficult for Huawei to continue to obtain various chips from American chip companies in the future. It is worth noting that the written document of the U.S. Department of Commerce also mentioned that the products that are now allowed to continue to be exported to Huawei mainly include sports equipment, office furniture, tablet computer touchpads, touch sensors and other low-tech consumer electronic components. From this range of allowed export products, it can be seen that, except for some insignificant things, the products that the United States is now allowed to continue to ship to Huawei in the field of consumer electronic components are basically some low-tech products that have long been replaced by Chinese products in China. Whether these products can continue to be shipped actually has little impact on Huawei. After all, judging from the public Chinese rate of Huawei Mate 60 series and Pura 70 series mobile phones, most of the components come from China, with a Chinese rate of about 90%, and only a small number of components are shipped from related companies in Japan and South Korea. In fact, from this Chinese rate, it is enough to see that in the field of smartphones, Huawei has basically achieved Chinese substitution and created a nearly complete smartphone supply chain. As long as the United States has no way to restrict the shipment of parts and components to Huawei by relevant manufacturers in Japan and South Korea, it is basically impossible for the United States to curb Huawei's development in the field of smartphones by restricting, cutting off supply, and cancelling shipment licenses. For Huawei, the supply chain problems of various electronic components have basically been solved. From the Kirin 9000's chip, Kirin 9010 chip, and other chips independently developed by Huawei HiSilicon and produced by Chinese chip foundries, Huawei has basically solved the chip problem. Although according to market news, Huawei's Kirin 9000's chip and other new chips basically use 7 nanometers process, but from various performance data, these chips are actually enough to support Huawei's mobile phone demand for chips. This is mainly due to Huawei's excellent performance in software and hardware adaptation, chip optimization, etc., as well as the more dense and neat transistor distribution brought about by Huawei's excellent chip design technology. However, for Huawei, the cancellation of 8 shipment licenses this time is not without any impact. From the current market situation, this impact is mainly concentrated in the PC field. With the improvement and development of Huawei's technology level and market reputation, Huawei's PC sales, especially laptops, in the Chinese market have continued to increase, and its market share and shipments have surpassed Dell, becoming the top 3 PC manufacturers in the Chinese market. However, many of Huawei's previous laptop models are still using CPU processors shipped by Intel. Now, many American companies including Intel have cancelled their licenses to ship to Huawei. This actually means that it will be difficult for Huawei to purchase advanced CPU processors shipped by Intel in the future. Although Huawei has obtained a stable chip foundry channel, and Huawei's outstanding performance in the field of chip design also makes people believe that as long as Huawei is given enough time, Huawei will definitely be able to design CPU processor chips with excellent performance. But for Huawei, the production capacity of more advanced chips, such as 7 nanometers process, is actually limited. Huawei not only needs to obtain enough mobile phone SoC chips and PC processor CPU chips, but also needs to allocate some foundry capacity to AI chips, automotive chips, and RF chips. The inability to import CPU processor chips may affect Huawei's PC production capacity to a certain extent, and then affect shipments and revenue share. However, the impact on Huawei is not that big. According to previous news, Huawei has reached in-depth cooperation with Lungsan Technology, a domestic PC processor chip manufacturer. Many of Lungsan Technology's latest chips, including Lungsan 3A6000 and other models, actually have excellent performance levels and have reached the international mainstream level. It was also reported that Huawei and Lungsan Technology will build a PC equipped with Lungsan chips and Hongmeng system. This is actually enough to show that Huawei is seeking various solutions to deal with the impact of the US cancellation of shipping licenses, and has achieved certain results.